Hello, welcome back to Unraveled Beer Thoughts. No, I have not had a beer yet, even though I probably sound like it. Today I have Apical Dominance by Russian River Brewing Company. Um, actually got this beer up in California about 2, 3 weeks ago, and we don't get Russian River here in Texas, so I took advantage and visited the brewery while we were up there and got several beers. This was one of their, actually, at their brewery, they had a flight of like, I want to say like 12 beers, 12 to 14 beers on the flight. So it was like everything they had on tap, they had on the flight, which was nice. I did not drink the entire flight. I mean, I drank every beer on the flight, but I didn't drink a flight of 12 beers all the way. So, because I don't know. Either I'm not dedicated or just didn't want to be drunk. So I did try this Apical Dominance. It wasn't my favorite beer, but that's not to say it wasn't a good beer. It just, of the Russian River beers I have tried, Apical Dominance was not my favorite, but it was one I was able to get a bottle of. And so I think it fell into sort of the IPA category. I'm looking on the bottle here to see if I can catch it. Yeah, I think it's pretty much an IPA for all intents and purposes. And so I got my IPA glass for this today. So we'll see uh, how it goes. I just had some chips and salsa, but it was not very strong salsa. So I am not, my palate is not crushed by any kind of food or anything like that that would mess up my taste buds too much. So we've got a pretty hefty amount of head there on that one. It's very clear. Slight haze, kind of pretty much a light yellow color. It looks a little more golden at the top where the glass uh, flares out, but for the most part, outside of that tiny bit of haze, which I think is just sort of general haze, because it doesn't seem like it's an unfiltered beer. It seems more like it's a filtered beer. Um, but it looks like a fairly crisp one. All right, my cat is literally licking my bottle over here. Let's show you. Wasabi. Oh, he disappeared. There he is. He's up on the counter licking the bottle. Not the beer part, just licking the bottle. Guess he's thirsty. So anyway, um, yeah, they're my favorites at Russian River were actually their two lightest beers that they had on tap, and they were, I think, lagers. One was a lager, I think, and the other was something like a golden ale. Um, but they were really well crafted, well done. Thought they were delicious. Apical Dominance was another one that was on the lighter spectrum, but I definitely didn't like it quite as much at that time as I did those two lighter ones. And typically, I'm kind of a stout, heavy beer. Uh, I tend to favor those, the stouts and heavy beers, imperial stouts, particularly Russian imperial stouts. So I just thought Russian River had kind of nailed the lighter ones, and their big stuff was good. It was tasty. I thought there was one in particular I liked a little bit better than the others, but nothing that blew my mind quite as much as the lighter beers, which I thought they kind of crafted very well. So, uh, the last time I drank this was amid a flight of many other beers. I definitely get more um, kind of tropical, but citrus in there too. It's almost a mix, almost like you get kind of a pine mixed with some citrus, but not in a way that feels wrong or funny, just kind of in a nice, smooth smelling way. So that's not bad. So on the front end, there's a little bit of a coconut feel, but almost more of the what I would call the mealy. If you've had coconut before, you know, kind of there's this almost savoriness to it that comes through before the tropical notes and that sort of stuff can hit you if you're eating the coconut kind of fresh and direct. So there's a little bit of that that kind of hits me with this beer on the front end. It's got a very light mouthfeel, not not much citrus, more pine, more. There's some bittering hops that come through, but not in a bad way. I like. I'm good with the bittering hops. I drink black coffee every day, so my guess is it's supposed to be sort of a sessionable beer. It comes off as feeling like it's missing something. Um, there's a. I'm kind of looking for a little more body, and there are some beers that are light and crisp and good. And it might be that this is just dry, and I think maybe with a drier beer, it just feels like it's missing a little something. Um, it's not a bad beer. I mean, I'm gonna finish this beer, so I'm enjoying it. Maybe there's a note of pepperiness, almost like saisonus. Saison. It's like a saison. It's like a saison. I want to say saisonist, but that doesn't sound right. So it's like a saison in a way. Although I don't think it's supposed to be a saison. I think it's supposed to be um, an IPA, but I could be wrong about that. Because it's got kind of a peppery note to it, like a saison would have, and it certainly has the head that a lot of saisons tend to express. Although this one doesn't have quite as much body to it as some, but it's not bad. But I think it kind of fits in with the whole theme of the beer. Feels like it's a little empty in the middle. Um, in general, I wouldn't look for this beer again, um, which is not to say I wouldn't say it's. I would probably say it's worth a shot. It's worth a try, but I would not pursue another bottle of this one. It's okay, but it doesn't, kind of hit me with the piney West Coast hop that I might be looking from that end of the country, and it certainly doesn't have the juice uh, that I would expect from like an East Coast or a New England IPA or something like that. It's not as it doesn't have quite as many layers as I would like a good saison to have. So if it is actually more of a saison or that's what they were going for, um, it's not quite enough for me on the saison level. I would look for something more peppery or more complex from a saison, and it's not. It's definitely not on my favorite end of IPAs in general. Even if you kind of look at it as like, okay, this is unique. Like maybe they were going for an IPA that was kind of like an IPA saison blend, which I could see that being a possibility with this beer. That would be unique, and probably if I was sort of judging it from that perspective, I might say, well, that's neat, but not. This is not a beer I'd want a lot of. It's just kind of like a neat, uh, unique sort of style or blend, which would be cool. But that is Apical Dominance by Russian River Brewing. A great brewery. Definitely recommend their beers in general. I thought their lightest two were great, but they have quite a line of sours or at least kind of open fermentation style beers, and they're all good. They're all good. If you like that style of beer, there are quite a few that are tasty. The challenge sometimes with Texas, and then I've seen some of them in Colorado, is they tend to be like very pricey. And I was able to get some in California for less than what I would typically I've seen them before in Colorado. I've never seen them in Texas, so I don't even think they ship down here. But in Colorado, I've seen them for something like I want to say ballpark $20 a bottle for like a 12-ounce bottle, or this might be like more like a 14-ounce bottle, but not an overly large bottle. And they've been 20. I don't think they were up to 30, but it wouldn't shock me. But out there, I was able to get them for about 10 or less per bottle, I think, something like that. So, oh no, they're about 14. They're about 14. So they're still pricey, but not nearly as bad when you're out there in California. So yeah, Apical Dominance. If there's a beer you'd like to see me review and I'm able to get my hands on it, I will definitely review it. Just put a comment on the bottom and let me know what you're interested in. Maybe you've had this beer and you might completely disagree with my review here. I am not a BJCP judge. I have uh, done some tasting before and done some judging before, but I am not a certified judge, so I am not a professional on this. It is just something I love to do and enjoy various styles of beer. So any comments are welcome, and then have a great afternoon.